Have you ever felt invisible?
Yes.
Have you ever felt like you don't matter? Back in 2011, I was at a point in my life where I was fat, I was unhealthy as hell, I was unhappy with my life in general. The only things that I wanted to keep were my husband and my house. At first I said my job, and then I went, no, that can go too. Because I was in a really toxic environment. So I didn't listen to my body. I have a bad habit of doing that. And you'll find out why after. But at one point, I was supposed to go for a massage one night. She had to cancel last minute. The next morning I got up, I went to work, and I was in pain, but I went to work. And then all of a sudden my body just seized completely. I called my chiropractor's office, who was actually downtown where I was working. I said, I need a massage therapist. I said, I don't care who, I don't care when, I don't care for how long, I'm in trouble. So I ended up getting an appointment, a 90-minute appointment with a man who had only been there for 3 months. So he's working on me and we're talking. It turns out he's 3 days older than me. We're both fellow Aquarians, so that says so much. He told me that my muscles were like concrete, and that I needed to reduce my circumference. And I'm like,
That's charming.
I don't know whether to laugh or smack him, so I did. And we became very, very close. He offered to help me. And that was the day that changed my life. I had been in corporate Canada, I guess. I had worked as an admin assistant in legal, in a couple of other, in property management. And I was not happy anymore. I used to love it, but then I ended up in some really toxic environments. And so one of the first things that he did was he helped me realize that I was a little ADHD. And that answered so many questions about why I was the way I was, because I never felt like I fit in. And as Dr. Seuss says, why try to fit in when you're born to stand out? And it's funny because when I was younger, I always felt like I was destined to do something really amazing. But of course I had a mother who, let's just leave it there. Don't talk so much. Don't hold the floor so much. You talk too much. You always are so loud. And it's not verbally loud, but I do talk a lot. So this is easy for me. I need this more of a challenge. And so after years and years and years of being told to calm down, to just be a good little girl, to do what's expected. So I kind of reined everything in, and I became a people pleaser. And I hated confrontation, and I wanted everybody to be happy. I wanted everybody to like me. I didn't deal well when people didn't like me, and so I tried to change to make them happy. And then when I met Andrew, this massage therapist, he made me realize that about the second or third book that he got me to read was about people pleasers. And I think I'm like, I'm not a people pleaser, I'm an independent woman. And it's like, yeah, no, you're a people pleaser. So I read this book.
Oops.
Important book.
Exactly. So I read this book and I realized, oh my God, I turned into a people pleaser. Oh, this is not good. Because I did that as a defense mechanism. I did that so that people would like me. I did that so that I didn't stand out anymore. And as a result of all that, I became invisible. When I was in my 20s, I was confident, I was sexy, I was an independent woman. And then of course, life starts beating you down, and beating you down, and beating you down. And by the time I hit my mid-40s, I wasn't paid attention to anymore. People didn't notice me anymore. And that hurt. And then through this growth process that I went through with Andrew, inside of, he taught me how to eat properly again. And this was a passion of mine for when I was young, but it wasn't something that was common. So he taught me how to eat properly. He taught me how important exercise was. Most of all, he taught me about personal growth and mindset and how important that is and what an enormous difference it can make in your lives. So I followed along, and all of a sudden it's like, she's starting to come out of her shell again. She's starting to be her authentic self. And that part of me that wanted to make such a huge difference started to emerge. So at the ripe old age of 46, I went back to school part-time. At night, 2 nights a week, on top of a full-time job, on top of a 3-hour commute. I thought I was gonna lose my mind. It was 2 years of just non-stop. And the first year, I had dropped a pile of weight under his guidance. And the first year, I kept it off. And then the second year, the stress levels started coming up. Because, hey, did you know that nutrition is actually science-based? Go figure! Because I went back to school to become a nutritionist. And I thought, food, right? I got this. And the first course was biochem. What? I'm doing what? If I had known, sometimes knowing what you're getting into is the worst possible thing. Because if I had known what I was signed up for, I would have never done it. Because I didn't think I had the guts to do it. I didn't think that I had the brain power to do it. I didn't think I had what it took to make that kind of change in my life. So I stuck with it, almost took a break, but my oh my God, the word is escaping me. Some of my fellow students, they were like, no, you can't do this, you can't stop now. You can't slow down, you've got to keep at it. So I pushed on. By the end of school, I was in such a bad health. And that was stress. And then it was like, but I managed to get through it. Long story short, I started off my practice, and it was on weight loss. That bored the hell out of me. And then I realized that my problems were actually hormonal related. I knew that. I thought, oh, okay, well, I can help this because I know about this stuff. And that was good. And then a bunch of stuff happened, and it all just started pulling me into sex and helping with people with their sexual relationships, with their sex lives, with feeling authentic about who they are sexually. It's so important as women, because guys will talk about sex. Hey, they're comfortable with their parts. They're comfortable with their bodies. They don't care. They can have the dad bod, and they just think that they're hot stuff. Women, oh my God, we have like one little rule when we sit down, and oh my God, this is terrible. Oh, he's never gonna want me. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I had a client recently, and she had gained some weight, and she said that she didn't want sex anymore because she was uncomfortable with her body. I said, okay. I said, and how does your husband feel? Oh, I don't know. I said, uh-huh. Does he still want to have sex with you? Yeah. So why aren't you? Well, I don't feel good about myself. Have you told him this? No. I said, he's probably thinking it has something to do with him. Because their marriage was getting a little bit strained. Because when you're not having sex, baby, it can cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So long story short, they finally had that conversation. And yes, he thought it was something to do with him. So when she told him how she felt, they repaired that relationship and things are better. So that's my mission in life, is to help women, men, couples get back to that intimacy and to that authenticity, because yes, there is an authenticity in sex that is so freaking important. My last comment is going to be, listen to your body, because let me tell you, it'll stop you cold, bless you, if you're not listening. 10 days ago, I found out I had a detached retina.
Good, Sandy.
Take a breath.
So good.
I lost about 95% of my vision in my left eye. If I hadn't gotten to the surgeon when I did, I probably would have lost all my vision out of that left eye. They've been amazing. I've been back and forth to St. Mike's so many freaking times, it's ridiculous. But my thing about that is not to make you think anything, feel sorry for me or anything like that, because I'm on the road to recovery. Please listen to your body.
Yes.
It will tell you when it's time to slow down. I didn't listen, and it stopped me cold.
Totally.
So
Yeah,
thank you
sure.
for listening.